Hi everyone, I'm Stan Dmitriev, product manager at Ellie.ai. Today we're going to go through different reverse engineering workflows that you can do with Ellie. Ellie as a tool supports all sorts of workflows when it comes to connecting with other tools. Specifically for reverse engineering, you can do the following things. You could, for example, connect to your data catalog and bring information from there. With different engineering tools, forward engineering tools, data engineering tools, you could connect and bring information from them. We have existing solutions with some of the tools already. You can connect to all of your warehouses, bring information from there as physical models or as source systems, tables. And then we have a powerful REST API that basically lets you do anything you want. In the sense that you can bring any information you want. And I'll show you a little bit of that today as well. And of course, we can connect to over 150 different source systems via our partnership with C Data. So today we're going to go through some of the workflows. I'll show you demos around them. Specifically, I'll show you how you can import a model with a DDL file, how you can connect to different source systems and bring information from there. I'll also show you how you can connect to a data catalog and populate your glossary in Ellie, and then we'll go through some of the API workflows that we have in the tool as well. So let's start with the demo, and I'm going to start by opening my Snowflake environment, and I've recently created a schema within my environment using this DDL. So what you can do is you can just copy the DDL and then go to your Ellie environment, and you can create a new physical model. So when you create a physical model, you can see that you can create an empty model, or you can either connect to a database or add text or file as the information. I'm going to use the add text or file functionality, and I'm going to paste text. I'm going to paste that DDL that I just took from my Snowflake worksheet. And I'm going to create a physical model in Ellie from it. As you can see, all the entities were created, all the relationships were added, the primary and foreign keys were defined, and it's a pretty easy way to import models from your other tools. Just paste the DDL and you have a physical model in Ellie. Another way you can bring information into Ellie is by using one of our connectors. So let me go to my logistics, and I'm going to create a new model. I'm going to create a physical model. Let's call it Acme Inc. And I'm going to connect to the database. So when you connect to the database in Ellie, you have a couple of options. You can connect using one of our existing internal connectors like Snowflake or Microsoft Fabric, or you can connect using C Data. I'm going to connect using C Data, and I already have a couple of connectors in Ellie. But just so you know, there's over 150 different connectors available, so you can bring information from all sorts of systems. It can be systems like SAP HANA or Oracle databases. You can connect to your Postgres or MySQL server and bring information from there, so if you have operational databases. And for the sake of the demo, I'm going to use one of my existing connectors. So I'm going to connect to my C Data. Going to connect to Snowflake, and I'm going to press connect. This connector is already connected to Acme Inc. database, which I have in my Snowflake, and I am going to pull the normalized schema. So as you can see in Snowflake, we have the following tables in my normalized schema. I'm going to go back to my Ellie environment. I am going to select the normalized schema, and I'm going to import it as a model in Ellie. In a couple of seconds, the model will be brought to Ellie as a physical model. If there are data types, they will be brought. All the attribute information will be brought, and of course, all the relationships. And here we can see my model in Ellie. I have all the entities that are the tables in my Snowflake schema, and also all the defined relationships were also brought in. Another way you can bring information into Ellie is by connecting to your data catalog. We have our own connectors to a couple already, like Microsoft Purview and Collibra. And here's what I'm going to do. So in Ellie, I created an empty folder called Enterprise Glossary, and I want to bring my Enterprise Glossary from Collibra to Ellie. So here's my little glossary in Collibra. I have a couple of terms, and I want to bring them to Ellie. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my Ellie environment, and I'm going to create a connector for Collibra. Gonna enter credentials. So let's call it demo connector. Let's enter the URL for our Collibra environment. Log in with a user and press confirm. So now I have my Collibra connector created in Ellie. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna map out the folder I wanna bring in, and I'm gonna select that I wanna bring information to the enterprise glossary folder in Ellie. And I'm gonna map it out to the enterprise glossary in Collibra. I'm gonna also define what is an entity. And let's add at least a description. So it's a definition in Collibra. I'm gonna save the mapping. I'm also gonna go to automation settings and set that the master should be Collibra. And I'm gonna enable the automation. So now every hour, the information from Collibra will be brought to Ellie. If there are any new glossary terms or there are updates to glossary terms, they will automatically propagate to Ellie. To speed up the process, I'm gonna manually sync the glossary. So I'm gonna fetch from Collibra, press confirm, and in just a couple of seconds, my enterprise glossary from Collibra will be brought into Ellie. And here's my glossary. So now when I model, I can use these terms in my models, and there is automatically the lineage also. So we can see the asset IDs of the Collibra asset. So I can always, using this ID, also find the asset in Collibra. And finally, if you have some very specific ways you would like to connect Ellie to your data stack, you can also use our API. To find the information about the API, you can go to our documentation and go to the API section. And here are all the endpoints that we have available. You can test how they work directly in this documentation by providing your slug and the API key, as well as any other necessary parameters for that specific endpoint. And then you can see the JSON structure that you get back. For example, with one of our customer cases, they couldn't use our CData connectors as they required internet. So we created together with them a little mini app that lets you connect to your Snowflake environment from your local machine. So this app runs locally on your computer. So then you can connect via VPN, fetch the information, and bring it into Ellie. So here what I'm going to do is I'm first going to connect to my Snowflake environment, and then I'm going to select the schema I want to fetch information from. Let's say it's the normalized schema, again, from our Acme Inc. Then I'm going to go back to my environment, go to my Snowflake folder. I'll copy the ID. And I am going to include the views. Let's call the model name normalized. That is fine. And I'm going to press transfer to Ellie and bring my Snowflake schema into Ellie. This whole app is done fully via our public API. So you can do this type of connectors yourself. There are plenty of things. I've been using it myself, whether for internal tools or creating like warehouse specific DDLs or importing ODCS type of YAML files. There's so many ways that you can use the API. And that's kind of the whole point. We sometimes won't have all the connectors in the world, or there are some specific workflows you want to enable in your organization. Our API fully lets you do that. So as we can see, my model has been loaded and it's exactly what I wanted. When it comes to reverse engineering, Ellie lets you connect to all the tools you need. If something is missing, you can always build a little app yourself. And that's kind of the whole idea. We're building Ellie as an open platform in a sense that anything can be brought in, anything can be taken out of Ellie and shared with other tools. And it's an important part of making data modeling a connected part of your data stack. If you have any questions about how to use our connectors, if you need some help with reverse engineering, make sure to reach out to support@Ellie.ai and we'll be happy to help you. I'm Stan from Ellie.ai. Thank you for your time. Have a good one.